Hi, and welcome to P226nut's channel. This is going to be a video on sleep systems. I decided to do this video because I got this thing here, which I'll talk about in a minute. And I was going to do a video just on that, telling you guys where to get it and how cheap it was. Watch for that video after this one. But I figured since I was dragging all the rest of this stuff out to add this to it, I might as well give you a video on my whole sleep system. I know at least a couple of you will find it interesting. Some of you may not. That's okay. Don't watch the video. What you're looking at right now basically are the bags. This is just a stuff sack to keep everything in, especially if you're at a fixed camp but you don't want to leave your bed set up. You just shove it all in here and you can stow it away. These you can get at any camping, backpacking, hiking, outdoor store. Probably less than $10. Okay, and they're worth their weight in gold. I usually carry at least a couple of these. I only have one right now because I actually gave one away a while back. Anyway, this is the compression sack that came with my sleeping bag. Came with the 30-degree bag on the bottom there. We'll get to it in a minute. It's the green one you're seeing peek out there. Anyway, I use this to pack whatever I'm carrying in generally. If I'm carrying the 30-degree bag, it gets shoved in this and then it gets put in that other stuff sack and then everything else gets put in there too, and the whole thing gets strapped on the outside of a pack. But if I'm not carrying the 30-degree bag, everything else will pretty much fit in here. We'll get to that here in a minute. Stuff that won't fit in that bag, that is a thermarest pad, and this is the chair component for it. You blow up the pad and you can turn it into a chair with this. To be honest with you, if you could take carrying the full-size chair, I would take it instead. This is kind of a waste of money, unless you're really size and weight conscious or constrained, because it does skip out on having to carry basically two pads, and this is really small and you can strap this thing anywhere. And then you just have to worry about this one big clunky thing. This is a thermarest pad. I think it's just the standard one. I don't know, I bought this so many years ago I don't really remember that much about it, but I'll show you what that looks like for those of you who haven't seen one. It has a stuff sack too. It's basically a roll-up inflatable pad. It's supposed to be self-inflating. That's what all the companies that make these things say, and that's hilarious. I mean, if you unscrew it and hold it open, you can sort of feel it sucking some air, but it's nothing like what it should be. I always end up inflating mine. It works okay that way. I'm not going to inflate the whole thing. You can do it in 5 to 10 minutes if you really want to. Let's set this somewhere too. Next, the thing the other video is going to be about, since we're on inflatables. This is pretty awesome when you get it out of the stuff sack. For some reason mine came with 2 stuff sacks. I don't know why, but this is an inflatable pillow. The same sort of idea going on here. Really small, compact. You can probably hear it sucking. That's kind of cool. That's really what they're supposed to do. So it's supposed to inflate the whole thing. I think that's wishful thinking. It's made by Magellan. This was $6 at Academy, and I paid $100 for my thermarest pad. But I would expect this to at least be $20-30, but $6, come on. And you can blow it up pretty fast. Okay, no time. Sorry I had to do that off camera. But that's an awesome pillow, and it beats the crap out of what I was using before, which is this Thermarest. There you go. Pillow you shove your clothes into basically to make a pillow. And I'm thinking that plus that equals an awesome pillow. So that way it has a pillowcase. Anyway, I'll set that aside now too. And there are two things missing from the system that I just don't want to dig out right now. One is a poncho and the other is a tarp. The tarp is like a ground sheet sort of thing for your tent. Highly recommended. The poncho is in case you don't have a tent item. You can cover up the whole thing with the poncho. I don't find ponchos particularly useful personally, as either I always have a tent or I don't need one, and most of this shit repels water anyway. At least the outer bag on the coldest layer does. So I just don't usually carry one personally. They're really useful though. I mean, I would have one if I were you, at least somewhere. And you can get a tarp for, I don't know, $10 at Walmart or Target. This is a Whoopee. It's a USGI military poncho liner. It is the only piece of military equipment in this whole kit. There is one other thing that I think you should probably have that I don't have either. It's a Gore-Tex bivy from the U.S. Army sleep system. It's a good idea to have. I just don't own one. I don't really want to waste the money on it right now, mainly because I've never needed one. And it's kind of a sleeping without a tent thing again. Anyway, this is an awesome piece of kit. It's like $20. And it is so freaking small. I could probably stuff it in the sleep sack for that other pillow. You know, it's just really tiny and warm and awesome. It's camouflage. I like the Woodland ones, by the way. I think they make these in ACU now. I would still buy the Woodland. Eventually they'll probably make a multicam version. You can get that. They do make this same blanket by like Thermarest or Marmot or somebody like that makes it. I think it's Thermarest that makes it. They make it as like a backcountry blanket. But it's this exact same thing. It's just in fruity colors. They do make a green one, but it is the green from the sleep pad. It's about the same color. Not my thing. Maybe it's yours, but I always have this. Let me move that now too. Next thing, summer weight bag. Lots of people would say, well, you know, that is a summer weight bag on the fleece bag. That thing is hot as shit. This is basically just something to fucking roll up and to go to sleep in. It's a sheet, essentially, but it's made like a sleeping bag. There are some annoying things about this. I wish they'd done a zipper instead of Velcro. It also makes a hell of a bag liner, too. I think that's really more what it's intended to be, but I use it a lot as just a summer weight bag. And look how tiny it is. So small and lightweight. It's awesome. Okay, now to the main thing, our 2 sacks. A combination of these 3 sacks and the Whoopee will get you through anything you'd ever want to go through. I've slept in snow and shit in this same getup. I took all the layers of it, but you know, it was plenty for me at least. You may get colder easier than I do. That's extremely likely. I'm kind of a hot-natured person. I usually don't even wear a coat. This first bag, you know, after this one, sorry, but I guess the second bag, this is a polar fleece bag you can get at Bass Pro Shops. I think it's their brand, actually. I've never really found it extremely important to buy a name brand polar fleece bag. Yeah, made in China. It's probably Bass Pro brand. Anyway, it's not something critical. This is one more layer and it works. This is $20, along with the Whoopee, which is also $20. And I think this was like 20 or 30 bucks too. I mean, a lot of this is really cheap. The $6 pillow, the pack pillow cover thing, I think was like 20 bucks too. And then I think that is like 50 bucks. The bag is less than 10 bucks, that black stuff sack at the start of it. And the pad is 100, I already said. So, you know, all the stuff not counting the 30-degree bag is, all the stuff not counting the 30-degree bag is like maybe 200 bucks. Okay, and then the 30-degree bag is probably another good 100 on top of all that. Let's show that. The best part about this thing too is that it unzips all the way around. So if you just want a blanket, you can have just a fleece blanket. Millions of uses. Now, the 30-degree bag. Lots of people are going to say, well, that's not, you know, a thick enough bag to use up in the mountains and, you know, wherever. Fuck you. At least that's the way I kind of feel about it. This bag is hot enough to get me to the point that I don't want to be in it anymore. Even when it's freezing outside, which is an accomplishment. It's made by Marmot. Let's see if it says the name on the bag. No, it does not. And I do not remember what this line is called. But it's one of their bags made of recycled polypropylene. It's not a down bag. That's really, really important. Down when it's wet doesn't do shit for you. This bag could be soaking wet and it still has, I think it's like 70% of its insulating properties or something like that. It's awesome. This particular one makes you look kind of like a big green caterpillar, but it works. Wool is about the same as the polypropylene stuff if you're going to go old school. Now, to store these bags, if you'll notice, they have these little ties right here. I loop the bag through there and then put the ties on them. That way the weight is not just on these little ties and these little hooks. It's on that whole bottom bar, and I double up the hangers. And you want to hang these bags. Do not store these in a stuff sack. It just compresses the insulation and it's bad for the bag. Something like that, not really an issue. But on any quality bag, don't leave it in a compression sack. I think that's going to be it for this video. I would put it all back together and show you, but I don't want to have to edit. And it's going to be, I don't know, probably 15-20 minutes for me to get all this packed back together and compressed and all the other bullshit. That, and I don't really want to have to pack this thing. I'm just going to go hang it back up. So, anyway, stay tuned for the video on this. It should be coming out right after this. If you don't stay around for that video, you can get those at Academy for $6. Have a nice day, and please subscribe to my channel, and be sure to look at my other channels. They're listed on my channel page. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.